I want to express myself, I just want to slay, but Burasansteiner won't enable Amy, yay. She's just so cute as she brightens my day. I'm living in darkness without Amy, yay. I'm pleading with Zebra, but he says no way. He always denies me my sweet Amy, yay. I mean, the next emote I have run out of emotes to remove. The next time I want to enable an emote, I gotta start paying money. But keep Amy A in the back pocket and maybe she'll show up. I don't know how often it is. Let's look at it right now. It looks like it's monthly. It's a Twitch subscription. It's literally another Twitch. So I am going to be doing it. But I'm holding out as long as I can. So probably not until I enable another emote. Gawain Typers? Explain that one. Is that one out here? Is that... Explain that one to me. Are we Are we talking about Knuckles Gawain? Or some other unrelated Gawain? I don't think I will. Okay. Welcome back. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show again. Everybody wake up. Hello, Isaac. Knuckles is kind of like, what are you about to tell me about Knuckles? I know who Knuckles is. What are you about to tell me about Knuckles the Echidna? How do you type with boxing gloves on? That is pretty funny. Yeah, he is a little like that. He would definitely be like checking his email. Yeah. That's pretty funny. That's good. Look at Mori doing these squats. No wonder he stays in such good form. Splendissimo. Alright, we are on a hunt. We are going on a hunt. We are on a hunt. We are going on a hunt. Now that we've found Baccarat, there is nothing left out there for us, so we need to fill that gap in our heart. I'm so parched, so very parched. Might you have a drop to spare? Oh. Is that good? Let's drop off some money here. Sinbad Chug. Come on, Snack. Enable Sinbad Chug, dude. Why are you so against it? We've been asking for years now. La 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 la. If you could have anyone alive or dead, real or not, transfer Chico from the can to your mouth via their lips, who would you most want it to be, and who would you least? Misato! He was ready! He didn't even spend more than a minute! Is that to both? That is a great question. And I don't know if I'm gonna answer it. Ifumi. Who's this? Is this Buck Cluck over here? All right, we gotta go on the hunt for the plot. So we are gonna start by heading to Arcadia and heading north. I think we just want to go to that ice cave, to be honest. I was thinking about it and I'm like, it's probably just that, right? Just maybe like Wendy Oldbag. I think I would accept Chico from the mouth of Wendy Oldbag. At least it's like not, she wouldn't be at the bottom, would she? She'd be down there. Would she be the... try to... Okay, yeah. Okay, alright. You can stop. Never mind. Oh, can you imagine her, like... Ugh. The beast is demonic in nature. Guys. This past Friday, we closed the book on a big chapter. We finished the big old reload playthrough. 16 months. So long. I don't know what the future looks like. It's gonna be weird. But we're finally on the other side. And at the end of it, we made an ending / credits sequence. And then we headed out for the night because that was it. I didn't want to dwell after that. That was the ending. I didn't want to drag it out. But I did want to talk about the making of that video because a lot of time and effort went into it, and there were a lot of fun like tricks I had to use to make it, and a lot of ideas that I like ended up cutting or tweaking. And I wanted to take some time to just like go over what we made there. I'm trying to think, is there anything spoilery? Not really. I think I can talk about it pretty freely. But I wrote down some thoughts about things I wanted to share. Hold on. And I think we could talk about that while we look for what to do. Think of it as a little dev diary or like a DVD commentary. So really, I had the idea a very long time ago, like probably during the base game playthrough when we were content pilled. And I was like, oh, I want to do an ending for this. But as soon as I did once I did the Dunban video for Xenoblade 2, and I did the character endings for Awakening, and I really, like, those burned me out a bit. Doing those two things, plus the Akutsuki video for P3. Those three things, I saw those as, like, the trinity of, like, video content made for the streams, and we were gonna, like, cut it out there, because I was burned out. And so I ended up not doing anything for the ending of Reload, which I think was the correct move. I wanted to end that game on the game. And so that we ended up doing that, and then the answer rolled around, and I still didn't like quite want to do it. But as the playthrough went on a little, I was like, no, I want to give this like a nice send-off. So let's do a thing. Let's hit the drawing board. And yeah, we got L4, or would that be L5 now, Lady Laura? That's L5. That's good old L5. I hit the drawing board and I was like, what do I want to make here? Is this Lorenzo? No, he has a unique sprite. I keep forgetting. A unique model. And the initial idea was that there was going to be no like video part. It was just going to be like a credit roll. And it was going to be similar to what we've done in the past, like character endings. But a couple problems arose. A, I didn't really want to do that. It felt forced to have to write endings. And after having done it for Awakening, as fun as that was, there were definitely some. I mean, that has a big cast. And obviously we didn't use all of those characters very equally, and we didn't use them all humorously or like with any kind of writing or anything. So some of those were a struggle to write for. And I kind of like exhausted my creativity of making something actually interesting and not just like blank got X job and lived happily ever after. And I was like, if I do that for this, it's going to feel really forced. And I didn't want to just make stuff up like out of nowhere. I wanted it to feel like organic. So I was like, I don't want to do endings. I just want to do like a credit roll. So how do I want to do this? So I had laid it out as you saw with those like colored backgrounds for the characters. And I thought it looked really nice. Except at first I had like, you know, text on the side and character on the other side. And I knew from the start... Oh yeah. I knew from the start I did want to have like the little scroll. You know how they had like the other like side characters scrolling? I knew I wanted to do something like that. Just to kind of like celebrate the whole playthrough and not just like the party members. In fact, in the very, very super duper original, like, never left my head draft, I was thinking about doing endings for every character. And that was like, that lasted like all of 5 minutes. I was like, no, you can't do that. There's no, what are you going to write about, like, what are you going to write for, like, Odagiri? Just don't be stupid. That's not going to work. And you're not going to find a song long enough to do that. So that was scrapped immediately, but I still wanted to have, like, every character involved in it. So I had the idea to make, like, a scroll of characters that were, like, at least somewhat tied to the party member I was showing. Which for the most part was easy to do. The only ones that I kind of just had to stick somewhere were... I put Mayoto lady on Yukari's literally just because Michelle Ruff. I thought that was like funny enough. And I put Gourmet King on Junpei's just because like he was another like kid from the school and Junpei was always like snacking on a sandwich or something. I thought that like fit him enough. And then I would say everything else was pretty founded in something. Oh yeah, I guess we're esoteric. I do have to explain those. I didn't expect that to be super parsable, but I wanted to include Boss from Job, who was just like a guy with 2 coffee cups in his hand. And Blue Scrunchy was in there. Because that, Aegis' scroll was supposed to like... You were supposed to be like, hold on, some of these are Spruzino's, guys. And then Spruzino fades in. And so they kind of like shared characters there. Yeah, that was the back of a girl's head with a scrunchie, but everything was in black and white, but the scrunchie was specifically like blue to like pop a little. But that's who that was supposed to be. And then the Misaguji was in there. I don't know if that was parsable. He just looked like a big cock. But he was there with Bebe. Nigi Mitama. Yeah, that was like her main guy. Oh, Mori's in the cutscene? Oh, because I'm playing as him.
It's almost too cold to bear. But if we don't retrieve the scepter, Medea and I may never return to normal. We'll just have to grin and bear it. Let's keep pushing on. At least moving.
Oh, he doesn't say Mori.
Warm up a little.
Oh god, this looks like it's gonna be a toxic dungeon. Oh no, okay. It's not a dungeon at all. We're just in the snowy north. What else about the character scrolls? And one to make a note of. Oh, I kind of stuck what's his name? Mutatsu. I just put him on Koromaru's. He didn't really have a home. He was kind of a Spruzzino guy, but I felt like he like fit on that one for some reason. I just wanted to mix it up a little, I guess. But everybody else, I would say, was pretty either intrinsically tied or at least loosely tied to whoever I put them with. And it worked out pretty well. And so, yes. Well, hold on, one more. Ken, I wanted... So the vision for Ken was that I wanted to have the villain scroll, because Ken was always... All the villains sort of like tied to Ken a little, in our playthrough at least. And I wanted him to have like the villain scroll, and I wanted it to start off like a little darker, like the lighting. And then I wanted Fushimi to come in and for like it to get brighter, like she was his source of light. But that was kind of hard to do effects-wise. So I kind of ended up cutting that. But it was supposed to go... Jin, Takaya, our guy, and then Fushimi.
I shouldn't have to.
Ah, here we go. More cutscene. Yeah, so I ended up going for big Fushimi to kind of convey that, like, she towered over them and, like, dispelled the darkness, kind of.
I suppose it's that Leo what's-his-name's fault.
Leo what's-his-name?
Dog of all things. Oh.
We'll watch this and get back to it.
Oh, stop your whinging, Grandad. It ain't as if we've got a sweat on, you know. Just get on with it.
Genghis is shirtless out here.
I beg your pardon? How uncalled for.
Trode is dressed the warmest.
Be able to say whatever I please.
He is dressed the warmest, objectively.
You've no right to talk to me like that. No right at all. I'm absolutely livid. Livid, I tell you. I'm going on ahead.
I love Trode. Livid! Alright, go on ahead. We'll see you there. The Avalanche. 7 is still with us. The Avalanche. Oh my god! Who is this big dog for us? Is this Nekomaru dog? That is a massive dog. He closed the door with his big tail. Oh my god, I can tell we're about to get into another cutscene, so do I even keep talking? Hold on, we'll get back to the topic in a sec. Lots of jars to break. All right, we'll talk for a little minute. So yeah, that was the idea with Ken's. It was supposed to be the 3 villain guys, and then Fushimi was supposed to like shine light on the whole thing. But the very first thing I did when I was making this was I set up these character slides, kind of synced their transition to the music, and the original idea was that they were all gonna just like slide into each other in timing with the music, and there were gonna be little ending blurbs. So that was the very, very original draft. You can probably picture it a little based on what it ended up looking like. But when I started to be like, okay, I don't like the idea for these like endings, I'm just gonna cut that completely. Because in combination with the fact that I didn't want to write them, didn't have ideas, felt like they would be forced, I made like a sample little like text passage on a couple of them just to see what it would look like, and I also thought it looked ugly. Like characters scrolling in the back, big blurb of text on the screen there. Nobody wants to read that. I didn't want it to feel forced. I didn't want to like ruin it. And a little corny, I like the idea of leaving it open. You know, they got their lives ahead of them. Why do I need to write an ending? The world is their oyster. You don't need that closure all the time. So I cut that completely and instead decided to do little video clips of all their like big moments or their fun moments in the playthrough. And I'm sure most of them were recognizable. I'm sure some of them were a little cryptic. But I could definitely... Some of them I put there just to like encapsulate the character kind of. But for the most part, they were pretty, you know, iconic moments from the playthrough or just stuff that I wanted to have included in some way. And it was fun kind of collecting those from across the playthrough. And so this is the part that I want to talk about, and then we'll go up here. The way that this all truly came together was I laid out a couple clips just for testing. Now, originally, between characters, they just used a generic transition. It's the little slide-in animation that happens when we go from the title card to Yukari, that like slide. They were all going to just do that. When I was putting together clips, the last clip on Yukari's slide was the Wheel of Welcome, because I was like, yeah, that's a fun one to put down. And just by chance, I was like, hey, wait a sec, this like syncs with the music. And I was like, what would it look like if I used this as the transition, like coming off of this? And it looked awesome. And I was like, hold on, okay, I'm gonna use this as the transition into Junpei here. And I just ended up giving her like a different last clip, which also synced pretty well, I think. I think that whole part right there with her like coming off of her slide, like, really opens it up well. I was pretty proud of how that looked. And I did that and I was like, this is money. However, now that I've done this, I have to do this for every character. I can't just do this for the opening slide. So I had to come up with the others, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's just resume here. But that was the big eureka moment. Mori? Ragazzo! I was not expecting a snow, eh? The Belladonna. Who's the Belladonna, though? Oh. How you feeling, Gov? You alright? I was worried about you, like. You was the only one who wouldn't wake up. Nook grass. Trotus here? I thought I went on ahead. Oh, he saved us. Dad Paw.
That
dog over there is called Boris. He's
Thank
the
you,
one
Boris.
who dug us out from the snow.
This dog is
What a
Alvis.
dog. He's a lot more use than a certain king, don't you think? And he smells a bit better too.
We're such assholes. Yeah.
How
Sorry.
dare you, boy? How could you say such a thing about your own master? Honestly. Who do you think called for the
Honestly.
in the first place?
Hey, what's up, Boris? So yeah, the Wheel of Welcome, you know, we already had that made. But if maybe you didn't notice, maybe you did. I added a little scotchy on there, and it made me a little emotional when I made it. I was like, oh, this is goodbye. But I thought that was really cute to make. Yeah, she was copying her. I just added like a little pixel onto it. The later lives of the sages. Oh, this is lore. The great and learned Kadan. Boom. Drobro Pozalavat. Salamat Pagi. Hello, Marta. Yeah, One Piece was great this week. I guess, can we just leave? Oh, here we go.
Please sit by the fire and warm your bones.
Your bones and your friends.
My milk grass tea.
It's pretty good. Oh, I should have got a picture. Oh, we're so us right now.
Drink. This milk grass tea will keep you warm even in the bitter cold of the snowy land.
How terribly kind of you. First you save us from the avalanche, then you put us up for the night, and now you warm our innards. Now that's what I call hospitality.
And what's really amazing is that you helped a weird old monster like him in the first place.
You loathsome lowlife. You of all people have no right to call me weird.
It is true that his appearance is a little unusual. But when you get to my age, you learn not to judge a horse by its harness.
Don't judge a horse by its harness. Maybe we were too mean to the guy. Now, Gov, come on.
And of course, I would help anyone who was in trouble so far from civilization.
I hope you don't mind me asking, but why do you live all the way out here on your own?
Of course, I do not mind, dear. There is an old ruin behind my house. My ancestors have looked after it generation after generation. It is a family duty. But that will all end with me. I have no one to follow in my footsteps when my life is finished.
Really? It must be pretty tough living on your own like this. Duty or no duty.
It is comfortable enough. I have lived here since I was a child, so it is not a hardship. Besides, to live life is not to walk through a meadow.
Marta is wonderful. Thank you, Granny.
And from time to time, people get lost here in the mountains like you, so I am not lonely. And I always have Boris to keep me company.
On the subject of dogs, we had something to ask you, Marta. This will sound a bit strange, but we're pursuing a big black dog, and we heard that he might have been headed in this direction. There's a good chance he may have come this way. Have you seen anything?
No. I am sorry. The only dog I know about is big old Boris over there.
I can't believe we're chasing a dog now.
Sorry I should ask where there is a lot of people. If you go down the mountain and go to the north, you will come to a town called Irkutsk.
Irkutsk.
Maybe someone will
Or
know
Kutski.
something there.
That sounds like an excellent idea. Right then, chaps, there's no time to lose.
Oh, yo. If you are hasty, others will only be amused. That is an old saying here. One should not be so eager to go back out into the blizzard.
I don't know what it is about Jump, but I feel like when one thing is really on point, they all are. It's weird. Sometimes there's a week where nothing's on point, and sometimes there's a week where everything is on point. It was a really good week, I thought.
The night is coming. Why don't you rest here? I am sure the blizzard will be gone by morning, so you can leave for Irkutsk then.
Yes. Wise words, my good woman. Very well, we shall rest here for the night.
I saw that, yeah.
Go north from the bottom of the mountain and you will come to Irkutsk. Please be careful on your journey.
Oh, Marta. We'll be back. Us.
By George!
No, Boris. Oh no!
Princess! Are you all right? Were you cold in the night?
Forgive me, but I
It's as cold as a desert at night out here.
If you meet with a man called Marek,
Marek.
please give this to him.
Marta's bag.
He is probably working with herbs like I am. I would be grateful if you could give him that bag. Spasibo.
Spasibo.
Thank you.
Does Spasibo mean thank you?
Right then. Off to Irkutsk. Toodly bye.
Toodly bye. Oh, us. Oh, we had such a nice visit to Granny Marta. That was nice. So where on the map are we? Just a little up ahead, it looks like? Yeah. Well, there had to be a plot reason for that. I guess whatever's in the bag, Marek's probably going to be important. All right, back to the dev diary. I should also mention that at first I wasn't sure what song I was going to use, but I knew it had to be a Gintama ending. Of course. But I was between the one I chose. This means nothing to most people. I was between the one I chose. I was between. At one point, I was thinking maybe Samurai Spirit would be a good classic one to use before I had any idea of what this would look like. And I really think that was it. I think there was one other that I like dabbled with the idea of. I was like, which one will I use? Let's see how this would like look depending what I use. But I went with the one I went with because A, thematically, it's perfect. There's a cave here? Oh, these are the ruins, I guess. Thematically, it's perfect. It's pretty long, the full version, compared to some others. It gave me a lot of time to work with without feeling rushed. And I just thought it like sounded good. It had like the emotional beat to it. It's a song about new beginnings and goodbyes. So I was like, yeah, this is it. That's like very thematically perfect for the ending to the answer. And the actual ED it's used for kind of like has a similar vibe. Another mini medal. So I settled on that pretty quick. I felt like that was the correct choice. But let's talk about a couple more details here. The transitions for the characters. So yeah, doing that, the Wheel of Welcome one was kind of what kicked that idea off. Let's see. That was a happy accident. Really and truly. And so I kind of hit the drawing board and I was like, what would everyone else's be? Because I'm gonna have to make the rest of these from scratch. I don't have any like existing things to do for these. I knew I wanted Mitsuru's to have something to do with film. And I was immediately like, well, like a film reel effect would be good. I wonder if one of those exists out there. And I couldn't find anything. I knew I wanted Akihiko's to probably invoke Dragon Ball in some way. I wanted Aegis's to invoke Cleo in some way. And then the rest I had to keep thinking of. I didn't have Junpei's one right away. I didn't have Ken's ready. I didn't have Koro's asterisk ready. Those ones I had to really think about. And Fuka's, I don't think I had an idea right away. But that's probably the easiest one to talk about first. So let's talk about that one. For hers, I wanted originally to do a Final Fantasy X glass break effect. And I searched for that, and I wanted to see if I could find it. But there was nothing out there. Nobody had made, like, one for people to use. And so instead, I went for the next best thing. I went for, like, a Pokemon battle kind of effect. That's what that was, if you didn't, like, immediately recognize it. It was like a Pokemon battle starting. And then later on, I added the two little text boxes that fly by. That was just like an extra addition at the end. I think that was the next best thing. Even though, like, Pokemon was like a late inclusion to her, like, character lore or whatever. I think the Final Fantasy thing, like, stood longer, but thanks to doing an entire stream of Pokemon, I think it felt deserved. It was different for a lot of them. When I upload it to YouTube, I'm gonna put, like, actual citations or whatever, or credits in the description for what I used that was, like, just borrowed from somewhere or something. They were all uploaded, like, somewhere to be used, but I didn't make all of that. The Pokemon one I just got off a YouTube video that was like, Pokemon battle transition, please use. And I was like, cool. So that was that one. That one was pretty easy. That was just something that I found and used. For who was next, probably? The Akihiko one I was very proud of. At first, I just, like, you know, put the Dragon Balls on there, and I was like, they're gonna light up and summon the next person. And so I made, like, I wanted to make, like, a glowing effect on them. And I had to nest it in Premiere. I had to make, like, a nested item for that, so that I could have them all fade in individually, but then just put the lighting effect on the nested items so they would all light up together. And on top of that, I put a lens flare on there for a little glare to just, like, really kind of sell it. And that was killing my CPU while it was rendering in real time, while I was trying to edit it. Oh, this is huge. Because lighting effects are very tough on your computer, if you don't know. So every time I got to that part and had to change something on it, it was very tedious, and my computer fan would go like, and I was like, uh-oh. I was using Premiere Pro for this. And I was like, Akihiko, dude, like, we gotta figure this out and just have it done so I never have to touch your part again. So Akihiko was the first one I completed because I needed to be done with it. However, pretty late into working on it, I realized that that part of the song had exactly... Well, technically it had 6 strums of the guitar, and then, like, it goes into, like, the drum beat there. And I was like, oh my god, I can literally sync the Dragon Balls up to this And so I tweaked it a little to time it a little more consistently. And I was like, this is sick. This is money. So I'm very proud of that one too. And I think it kind of has a secondary effect of, it almost looks like they're summoning, I'm going to talk about some spoilers. If P3 spoilers, light spoilers, heavy spoilers, I don't know. If you haven't played it, give me a minute here. It's kind of unavoidable. I can't not talk about it to talk about this, but it had a secondary effect of looking like it summoned Shinji in the back there, which was actually not the intention of that. It was supposed to just be the transition. It was supposed to be calling in Fuka, but it kind of looked like that too. So I was like, this is perfect. And that's also why I put him where I put him in the song, because it's a little out of party order. But I put him there because I felt like that part of the song fit that part in general better. Because I knew I wanted to have Shinji there and some representation. I wanted him to kind of share Akihiko's slide. And I think that worked out like perfectly, personally. I don't know. I don't think I could have done that much better. So his was done. The lighting effect killed my computer. I was scared to work on it every time. And then I would say next was probably... I think next I worked on Aigus's one. And I knew I wanted it to be Cleo in some fashion. I kind of wanted her to, like, swing through. I know sloths don't really, like, swing. They hang. I don't think they swing. Maybe they do. I don't know enough about them. But what I wanted was kind of like a bunch of leaves to come in. And I wanted like a leaf effect, and I wanted Cleo to just like be there and like swing off to the other side of the screen. But I wasn't finding any good leaf effects out there that I wanted to use. I wanted like realistic looking foliage. And all of them were either low res or not quite what I wanted. Or like something I would have to pay for. And I didn't want to do any of that. And then, I don't know if I just remembered this, or if I came across it in my search, but I saw Kingo mention this in the chat. I stumbled upon the Bug Fables battle start transition again, and was like, oh yeah, this is leaves! And so I found, someone had made like a blue screen version of this, like a green screen but blue because it's already green, and I was like, perfect. Now I just need to like modify this, get Cleo in here. What I ended up doing was just having her like crawl across the top, instead of like the swing, because I didn't really have a good looking sloth to use that would have like made that animation look good. So I was like, yeah, this is fine. She can just do a little crawl across. And when I saw that finished product, that also made me a little emotional. Like I was saying at stream, I've been working on this a while, so I've all of my feelings about it have already been exhausted. But had that been my first time viewing it, I probably would have just like been a mess. It's funny how you can just make yourself like that. Just making a thing. But her coming in at that part of the song just made me like, oh. But that one was finished then. And then I probably went to work on Mitsuru's at this point. Which for that one, I just followed a tutorial to make a film reel transition. It wasn't that hard to make. It just took watching like a video for like an hour and following directions to make it. And I like how it came out. I just had to like tweak the speed and just make it match up how I wanted it to. But that came out pretty much how I envisioned it. I did want to add kind of like a film grainy effect to that. But that wasn't looking that good, and I think it would have bled into Akihiko's and looked a little ugly. So I cut that out, but the way it came out is still like pretty perfect, I would say. And then I had to come up with Junpei's, and I had to come up with Ken, and I had to come up with Koro. Junpei's I came up with pretty fast once I started thinking about it again. I was like, okay, what was like a funny like Junpei thing? That one SBS we did. Thank you, Isaac. I think that was like a pretty iconic like story for him. I was like, what if we did something with a big pizza? And originally what it was going to be is that it was going to be... It wasn't going to roll across the screen. It was going to be like already there, and then like all the slices would disappear like one by one, and then it would like Mitsuru would be behind it. But I was making that, and it wasn't coming out very good. Yeah, they went to Pizza Hut. And so I was like, what if it rolls across the screen? But that was a problem at first, because I was also trying to think of Ken's at the time. I was thinking, what if his was like a hamster wheel rolling across? I didn't want two of them to just be like a circle going across the screen. But I ended up settling on that and being like, no, we can come up with something better for Ken. So I just did like a pizza rolling across, and it was specifically his order. It was a pepperoni and mushroom. Just to get really specific with the details. So that one was done. I think that was my favorite of those two. Coming up with how they would all react to that. So all that was left was Ken and Koromaru. However, I had created a dilemma for myself. Because these were all at the end of a character's slide. There was no way for me to do one for Koromaru into Aegis without Aegis not having one. And I definitely couldn't do that. I could have put it at the end, but there was no room to do that. So I was like, what if Ken and Koromaru shared one? Which was a little cope. But even that, I couldn't really come up with a good one. So even though it's a little cope, what happens at the end of Koromaru's clips is kind of supposed to tie into Ken's, but not really. That's kind of cope. He didn't really get one. Which is a little bit of a bummer, but, you know, if it had to be anybody, I would say that was the correct choice. But for Ken's one, I wanted his to be... I was thinking of like how I can expand on the hamster idea that I had originally with the wheel. I was like, what if it was like... What if like the entire layout of a hamster cage showed up or something? What if there was like a newspaper, like a little water wheel, and like the hamster wheel, and it like all comes in? And I couldn't find a newspaper effect, but I found something even better. I found a like a sawdust green screen, and I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'm just gonna run this halfway through, then reverse it, and that'll be like an open and close. And then I was like, well, hold on. We've repped our guy the whole playthrough. I can't just have him in Ken's character scroll and not do something a little special for him. What are we going to do with Akutsuki? And so the original idea was that he was going to be in the scroll like normal, and then he was going to like come to life, look both ways, and then walk off to the left. like a portrait that came to life or something, and then like come in that the way we did it there, with the one on his head. And I thought that was awesome. I was like, this is a great idea. It's really funny. I'm going for it. He gets to troll someone one last time, and it's poor Ken. And I thought that was funny. Him walking off to the side was not really feasible or easy to do. So instead, I had it look like that there was like somebody missing. And I was like, oh, who like didn't show up in line? And then as the Fushimi like wall of light is coming down, he just like falls down and like screws everything up. And I still think it came out pretty funny. And I was really proud of that shot. That one got me, I wouldn't say that one got me emotional, but that one got me, because that was like the last one I worked on. That one got me like, we had a good one here. We had a good time with this one. Oh! Did no damage. It's a robot. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the video part 2 in a minute, but this was the one where the real. This is the Jarush guy. Yeah. This is where all like the love and the care went. So this is the one. This is the one I have a lot to say about. These guys are cool. I don't know if these guys are in other games. These are Mori's rivals. What else did I have here? That was all the transitions, I think, right? What else is here? But yeah, so because Akutsuki was there, I had Koro's last clip being the Yuko clip. And I did have that Akutsuki clip in there. But I ended up switching those. And making the Akutsuki one his last one. Just to kind of tie into Ken's, like he's like, no, fuck you, like get out of here. But that's like kind of cope, but that was like the best I could do. And that's his send-off, and then Cleo comes in, and then the Spruzino fading in. I had that from like the beginning. I looked at it and I was like, oh, I really like this contrast of the blue on the yellow. I'm keeping this. This looks wonderful, and it's a nice like emotional gut punch. I like it. I added Metis as her shadow later, and I think that also looked cool. Those portraits really complement each other. I don't know if that was intentional, but the posing of those two portraits is very complementary, I think. It really does look like they were meant to be laid like back to back, like she is her shadow, kind of. So I really liked that too. I thought that looked cool. And I did want to, like, give something to Metis. She deserved it. I mean, she's a funny part of the playthrough still. And it would feel wrong not to do something. And I think that worked. As for, like, clip choices, I'm trying to think if there's any clip choice that I want to talk about. I think they were all pretty self-explanatory. And if not, I could probably explain why they were there. No, I think they all kind of speak for themselves. Some of them were kind of later additions. Like, I had them laid out at first pretty quickly. I didn't have much trouble selecting clips because I only had so much time before the song would, you know, play someone off. So I didn't want to do too many clips for any characters. But some of them did get more than others because they were shorter or just easier to kind of like encapsulate. But there were some that I kind of squeezed in. So some of them might have come off a little clunky with the music sync, but I just really wanted to include what I could. But I think that's it for that. And now to tie into the first part of the video, which was more the silly, fun, like, rapid fire, like, be silly one last time ending. Did I skip the town? Is that it over there? On the map there? That might be the... Hold on. What is this series of rocks? Is this the town? I knew from the start, as soon as I selected the song, that I wanted the last line of the video to be a long pause, Aigis thinking, and finally saying, coming full circle and saying, Baigus. I was like, that's cinema, that's the ending I want. I can think of no better way to end episode Aigis than her finally responding in a correct fashion. And I want that to be fade to black, just show the caption. As the song fades in. That was my vision from the start, and I was like, yes. But I didn't do that. I didn't do that until I was ready to ship it. I made sure that was the last thing I did when editing. And I finished that part of the edit an hour before stream. I left that as icing on the cake until the very end because I knew that would get me. I was like, I can't work on this until everything else is ready. I'm leaving that till it's time. And so that was the vision there. Oh jeez, this guy's murdering me with magic barrier or bounce or whatever. As far as the script to that video, most of the very beginning was actually done at the end. For the most part, I just wrote jokes at first. All I knew going in is that I wanted to have a good goodbye between people who like needed to say goodbye, kind of. I wanted one last scene for the hater club. I wanted something for Mitsuru and Junpei. I wanted plot threads to tie up, basically. I wanted Aigis' boyfriend in there. And I wanted Ken's quest for #1 to be in there. So I was like, okay, how do I tie all these together? Oh, and there was one more thing I wanted, which I'll get to in a sec. That was addressed maybe in a different way. Oh, here we are at town, though.
Well, it seems we've arrived in Irkutsk at last. And that nook grass really is quite marvelous. I wasn't a bit cold, even in all that snow. Now, we can stay outdoors as long as we like. Excellent! Well, I'll be waiting outside the town as usual. In you go!
Oh, this is a cool town. Oh, what, has he not had his morning coffee yet? He hasn't had his morning coffee yet. Alright, let's explore the town. This is a cool town. Okay. So those are the things, that was like, you know, the outline. I was like, I want to address these things. And so I set out to see how I could make those kind of cohesive and like a big cohesive scene that kind of jumps perspectives a couple times to address everybody. And I started scripting out a little bit of what I wanted. Let's see here. And originally it was going, like, I needed an intro, and I was like, how are we going to intro this? And the intro was going to be like Metis like fading away and them saying bye to her or whatever, because I didn't remember how the answer ended yet. And then I was like, okay, I should go look up the original and remember where the scene leaves off. And it leaves off with them leaving the dorm, and with, like, Metis is already done. I'm like, okay, so Metis wouldn't be here, so that doesn't make any sense. So I cut that out, and I was like, I need an intro. Yeah, I do too. And so I ended up... Oh, here we go. It's a swallowtail. A boomerang? We need that big time. Here's some good stuff. Okay. Iron Fan, Movember. Okay. So all we really want here is the swallowtail. Yeah, I get that. That's where I'm at. It's a good ending for everybody else. I really think that's why it exists. I think it's for closure for the other characters. I think it's less about giving you an answer on, you know, and more so for the rest of the cast. So Mori can equip this. Or you can equip this. And so I didn't have an intro, and I didn't have an intro for a while, but I just focused on writing the other scenes, because I wanted to have those ready. Phantom Weapon, Sword of Legend, Raw. So I wrote my jokes. I wanted the Haters Club to finally be like, dang it. We like her too, because like that's how it ended up with Ken and how it ended up with Ryoji. And so I was like, oh, what if they like, oh, look who it is. What if they bury the hatchet on this one too? And so I made that clipboard, and I thought it was funny. That was the first like prop I made for that video. And that was when I was like, yeah, I can see the vision. Like, this will be doable. We can make this video. And then I wanted Akihiko to make a "we'll probably never see each other again" reference. Because I thought that was perfect. I was like, yep, that's free. That's an easy thing for him to say as a farewell. Very easy line. Thank you, Tien. And I also wanted the other characters to like be taking the piss on it. And yeah, Mitsuru referencing it because she believed it. I thought that was easy. That was easy to build off of. Ken being pissed about it and being like, come on, dude, like, for real? Ken kind of played the straight man in a lot of that, and I think that's what he was good at. Why is there just a cat down here? Hello, cat. And him getting like a little speech to kind of give an Akihiko goodbye, and Akihiko's the first one to leave, and from there it kind of flowed. I was like, oh, here's a shot of Akihiko leaving through the door. Why don't I get a shot like this for everybody? It'll be a little, you know, symbolic or cinematic. There was some symbolism to them leaving the door. They all got a shot of that. Which, strikingly, I need to point this out too. I did not watch those credits. I have never seen those credits before. That was my first time watching them. And while I was watching it on stream there, I was like, I'm seeing some similarities to what I wrote here. It had the same portrait pictures that were used. It had a blue background with little pictures showing up. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to think I copied this. But no, I have not watched those. That was all coincidence. There was also the shot where Aigis opens the door and looks back, and I was going to have a heart attack if she looked back and saw Spurzino. I was going to throw up. But that didn't happen. Yeah, the Dunban ending, like, dude, I'm a genius. I should write these. But no, because the reason I was gonna throw up, that shot of Aigis turning around was in the original cut, but what I added was the butterfly and then her seeing Spruzzino. That I added the same day. I added that on Friday. I was like, oh, this would be good. Ooh. So I added that in last minute. There was going to be no Spruzzino like appearance there. That was, you can probably tell it was a little thrown together looking kind of, but I think it sold it well enough. So that was funny. The entire Mitsuru speech was sort of ad-libbed. I knew what I wanted her to, like, say, but, like, the actual script of it was just me making stuff up. And I also think the important takeaway is that Ken is like, does she know what he means by that? And she reveals that she definitely does not know what he means by that, and that's just supposed to be like, she doesn't know what she's signing up for. So it's up to your interpretation what happens from there. But I thought that would be a funny way of poking fun at the route that we almost went. And by we, I mean me. I thought that was a funny poke fun. And a way to tie up a confession for her without really overcommitting or undercommitting. And I don't know, I just thought it was silly and funny. What else? Fuka was all jokes in that. Fuka didn't get like a... The reason Fuka didn't get a very focal scene there is, A, because the P3 writers hate her. No, not actually. Because I thought last week was a Fuka send-off. I think the Fuka dance party was her send-off. And I thought that was a good Fuka Friday send-off. And the other reason is I'm going to break you off a piece of, a big piece here. There was a completely cut scene from that whole thing. There was going to be a post-credits scene. But that was too much. And I think it was the right move to not do it. And instead, give you a picture. There was going to be a post-credits scene of Fuka, who didn't really have a role in the pre-credits, on vacation with her two girls. And there was going to be actual dialogue and stuff. And it was just going to be a quick send-off to the concept of Fuka Friday, because I wanted to address that. But this was scripted and drafted before we did the dance party. And once we had done that, I was like, well, this was a send-off to Fuka Friday. Like, that's already kind of taken care of. So what does this scene do other than provide some closure to Fuka's, like, open plot thread here? Is she ever gonna meet her friends? And I thought a much better way to do it was, what if I just show you a picture of them having fun and you fill in the blanks for yourself? I think that's more of a gut punch and more of a, like, the end picture. And I like how that came out. But if you must know, the original script was going to be, they were going to be on vacation at like a boardwalk cafe or something. Fuka was going to be recounting the tales to them, like telling them how it all ended. And Rita was going to be like, that's stupid. What do you mean the poly ending? Who wrote this? And Chiaki was going to be like, let's get a move on, dudes. The week is almost over. And Fuka was going to be like, what do you mean the week's almost over? We just started. And they were going to be like, you don't know what day it is? And then she was going to find out it was Friday, and it was going to be like, whoa! Because they were hanging out for a week. And it was actually, the way I scripted it out, actually, it was going to be... Do you know when an Ace Attorney game ends? Most of them do this. I don't know if all of them do this, but most Ace Attorney games do this. It's kind of a tradition where at the very end of the game, Maya or somebody will propose some expensive idea and say that Phoenix is paying for it. And it will always play out like this. Character will say something, Phoenix will go, huh? And then someone else will say something, and he'll go, huh? Huh? And then again, and he'll go, huh? 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 And then fade to black, objection. I was gonna do that, where they're like breaking the news to Fuka that the week is almost over, and it is Friday, Fuka Friday. And instead of objection, it was gonna end with like Happy Fuka Friday or something. That was gonna be the final frame. But that's the draft there. But I felt like that wasn't necessary, and I thought the picture worked a lot better. But that's the video you never got. What else? I think there's even more to talk about. I know, we're not playing the game. Oh, the Koromaru scene? Oh, Medea? No. Oh, one sec. Mom is asking if I want takeout from Chili's. That's important. She said you snooze, you lose. Does that mean it's over? She didn't even give me 3 minutes. Guys, this is huge. Yes! What do you want? Yes! And I'm getting the Dillas. I haven't had them in a while. We might be ending stream early. Because once that shit gets here... Woo! Okay, what else did I want to say? There was a Koromaru scene. That pretty much played out the way I wanted. There were a couple additions to it. I did want him to, like, howl as Akihiko left, and I wanted Mitsuru to interpret that as a call to action. It's just so funny. That is not why he was howling. He was howling at Akihiko leaving. But I really wanted a, "You're right, Jerry." I really wanted that in there. I thought that was the perfect way to initiate that scene. She doesn't know anything that dog is saying. But I wanted Akihiko telling Koromaru to take care of everybody, and because he didn't need to be taken care of. And that's kind of like another funny jab at Ken. because I feel like that's how he would exit the plot. Is this guy praying? That's crazy. He has a god. But then I wanted I wanted Ken to comment on how hacky the Mitsuru plot point tied up. Like, oh, it's that easy, huh? We can just write this in. Like, I wanted him saying, like, isn't this a little bit hacky? Just as like a tongue-in-cheek moment. And as he said that, I was like, it would be funny if on screen right now there was something even hackier happening. What if Koromaru and Amali had a kid? And so I put that there as a joke, like things are moving so fast. And then I put in, very late, I was like, what if you could hear Junpei in the background being pissed about it? And that was born last minute because I think it was during the, it was 2 or 3 streams ago. The one where Metis was trying to find a bit, which I think was one of the funniest sessions in the answer easily. Where Koromaru drove off in his Koromaru mobile. And Junpei was like, come on, don't drink and drive, man. Like, just him getting mad at, like, whatever he was up to. And I was like, what if that was like we did that again here? And I thought it was really funny to just be like, oh, are you friggin' serious? Just like in the background, sounds like it's like kind of far away. I was laughing about that one. I think that came together really funny. I think that's everything. I don't know. I could talk about this for hours. I already have. But that's a look into the Zabrag creative process. There was also, this is way back. This is super quick. There was a cut. Back when I was thinking about doing this for the basic playthrough, like before this even left the conceptual phase. I was thinking, like I said, I was thinking about using a different Gintama ending. Early on, I kind of wanted to use Samurai Spirit. Don't look it up, Will. You'll get there. Which is kind of like, at least where I am, like one of the more iconic ones, from what I understand. I think that's one of the more like beloved EDs, or like very like identifiable ones. I really like it. It's one of my top 5 probably. When I wanted to use that and have a more like a cool ending theme, Samurai Heart, my bad. During like the bridge in that song, I wanted to have, this was very conceptual. This wasn't even like, I hadn't thought about what this really was going to look like, but I was like, oh, we have a credits roll, and then here's the part of the song where like it gets quiet for a bit or whatever. I want to have like a scene during this part, and the scene was going to be Igor mulling over like how annoying his guest was and how much he hated that guy. And then he was going to get a phone call from like heaven or something, and he was going to be like, oh, what do those guys want? And it was going to be like God or someone asking him like, how do you deal with this guy? He's like making a mess up here. He's like asking for like a bathroom. Like, how did you handle this guy? And Igor was just going to be like, he was going to be happy and be like, oh, sorry, our call's breaking up. I can't help you. And he would hang up and be like, what a marvelous guest, or whatever he says, you know? But that's kind of where that idea came from in the ending there. I just threw that in, where I was like, what if you were called God? No, that was some quick thinking to work in an idea I cut. But that was cut a long time ago. That was never going to make it into the answer. Okay, we ran around and yapped a lot. I'm sorry. I just wanted to finish my thoughts so we can focus on the game. The dog might be here. And I'm also, guys, really just happy in general with how the finale turned out. Like, just the stream. I thought we were, like, on point. I thought we were funny all night. Felt like good closure. Sometimes I walk away from a finale stream feeling like I, like, rushed it out the door or didn't give it the... Oh my god!
Oh dear, sister. You look so beautiful when you pray. Too beautiful.
He has a voice crack, kind of.
Dear goddess, what should a poor soul such as I do?
Oh!
I've fallen for one of your flock.
This guy is alive.
Confess. Even when you are racked with self-doubt, have faith in her divine benevolence. The goddess looks kindly upon those who take action. Was that an angel? Oh, I understand.
Who's this? Who's this, bambino? You really don't need to know. Are we in the game? Oh, thank you, Angelo. I guess. But yeah, I was very happy with how that turned out. Sometimes I walk out of a finale session feeling like it was a little half-baked or something, or that I just rushed to like what I wanted to do at the end. But I felt like we had a lot of fun along the way. I felt like a lot of stuff came full circle. It felt very final. So good work, team. Oh, the velvet cape. Oh, the ice shield. Oh, the ice key. Oh, the Ice King Joey. This would be good. Ooh, hold on. Can Yangus equip... Did I sell the magic armor? I think I already sold it. Hold on. I don't think I did. Did I? Did I sell the magic armor? Can Yangus equip this? Because if not... Okay, Mori, you're going to equip this. And I'm going to give the mail to Yangus. It's a good way to split it. I'm thinking about getting, like, people get over the odor author, but for... Oh, give the Ice King Joey guy another shot? Yeah, maybe. Fire King Jimmu. I haven't really seen anybody, Fire Queen Jenny, let's go, slay. I haven't really seen anybody talking about Odor. Are people gassing it up? I know people liked how it started, and I thought the first chapter was pretty good, but it didn't do much, like, fast enough for me. Yeah, everything I hear about Red Hood is like, oh, it had promise, but like sold itself short because of the pacing or whatever. And I guess I believe that, maybe. I don't know. Odor. Yeah. Odor moved very fast, very, like, early on, and I was like, whatever, I don't really feel like reading this. It's not really grabbing me. It seemed conceptually, like, cool enough. But, I don't know. It just made me want to get back and continue Vinland Saga. Nook grass. Dog is kind of a wolf, yeah? Probably have to go out that door. Have we gone on in a circle yet, though? I don't think so. What does the item shop have? We did a whole lot of nothing today, huh? That's okay. White gold bell. Oh, interesting. I think we've done a full lap now of like actually talking to people. We've done a full lap multiple times. I'm gonna go down first. Oh, this is where the cat was. Okay, sorry. Alright, we're back though. We're back. We're playing a game now. This is where we entered. We'll go out that door we just saw at the this man. It's time to tell that beautiful nun how I feel about her. Can you imagine like a horse in habits? What, did he break up with his wife, Cranbartle? She took the kids. She took the kids. Oh, this is a wonderful... I love a good Dragon Quest Ice Town. What was the one in 11 called again? Snowveria? I just made that up. Hoppa Snowman? What was it again? Hoppa Papa Snowman? Do you want to hop a snowman? Is that what it was? Do you have a papa snowman? What do we have for pictures in this town, Cameron? I probably had to go get Marta. Oh well. Rampaging robots. Wow. Killing machine. This is easy enough. I'll just use that item I just purchased. Ho ho horrid monster. 30 night sneakers. Finally, another one of these. Been a while. Okay, here we go. Ice Bridge. Ice Bridge Joey at the Blizzard Peaks. Mayor's house. That seems to be right behind us. That's outside. Okay. Oh, might be more. Golden slimes, maybe? Of course. Be on the lookout. I wonder if Mori has a special pose with anyone? Let's put some friends in the party. Gusta! Gusta! Not looking like it. I think it would give me the option. Yo, they got a Santa sleigh here. Huh? Chav chav. I don't think dogs sound like that. Do you think? Wahee! Be really careful not to slip on the ice. Your mustache might stick to the ice if you fall on your face. Wait, does... Huh? He comments on him? really hurts if you land on your bum. Oh, that's cool. He had Maury dialogue. What did he say to Jesse? Oh, you'll get soaked if you land on your bum. Hey, give it a rest. You're too big. You'll break the ice and spoil everyone's fun. Oh, Gov. Nobody wants me. Nobody wants me. Nobody wants me, Gov. Gotta get a couple Maury picks in, you know? Make up for some lost time here. I guess we'll go to the mayor's house here. See what's up with that. That was an easy golden slime, by the way. Thank goodness. We've been owed that. We've been owed her. And I know the other one's in here, so don't even try to hide it. Wolves on the prowl. Odor Geary. Ruh. If I ever play P3 again, I'm absolutely doing the Odagiri link. That's my biggest regret among the links. It's not finishing Odagiri. He's cool. Flummox. Yeah, tell me about it. Lots of mini medals. As a matter of fact, I do. I picture this guy as having like a... Will will be with me on this one. This NPC has an Archibald voice. Archibald? That's how I read this guy. Yeah, Fushimi, I'm super happy with how she turned out. Same with Kaz. We didn't finish either of them, but they were... They stuck around. Ooh, a rock bomb shard. Oh, and I... Okay, one more thing I need to explain. Aegis's boyfriend. Guys, I had the idea while I was watching a Space Dandy episode. That's where it came from. There's an episode where what if a vacuum cleaner and a coffee maker fell in love? That was right before we started the answers, so I was like, this is... I'm taking this in with me. Is that it in there? She enjoyed the taste of coffee for the first time. You should watch Space Dandy if you haven't watched it. It's a great show. That part is funny. And that made it in at the end. I didn't forget about that part. Share these promises. One's open. Oh. What is fishy about that? Well... The fragrance of dark coffee. It sure is. That shot was funny when I made that. Up here, I may have rented one of those. Yo, what's up, Bronson? Yeah, I specifically looked up like child's hand, and then I was like, what do I just say? Like, oh, like a baby's hand. Didn't save last night. Oh no! Did it go well though? That fight looked tough. That fight is tough. Yeah, that was dangerously close to what you said. That's funny. The ending is also why when you invoked Ken being like content with seeing him with seeing Kaz and Fushimi together. I didn't quite budge on that one because I was like, well, that'll contradict what I wrote here. But I think both can be true at the end. I think that can happen after that. Because nobody tell him it's never going to happen. He needs to grow up and realize that. Yeah, Rinza was saying yesterday, she was like, you know, Garchomp, kind of good. And I was like, yeah? I've never heard this. I think I hear my chilies. And if so, probably gonna wrap it up for the day. We got nothing done. We made it to this town. We got Mori. A big town to explore. Oh, the bar. We're here at the bar. So it seems as though Merrick has left town for a bit. He might be in the dungeon nearby. There's a cave. Thought it would be easy enough to find one measly doctor, but we ain't having much luck, eh? It's turning into a right pain. Why don't we just chuck away the bag the old lady gave us and have done with it? How could you say that, Yangus? Marta saved our lives, remember? You can't just break our promise to her. Garchomp Linda. Garchomp Belcher. Alright, I was only joking anyway. I'm never one to shirk a duty, you know. I wonder sometimes. Anyway, we're going to find Marek, understood? Yes, sir. If you ask me, it is non possible to get lost in this place. I think the signor must be somewhere outside the town, eh? So we've come unstuck on both counts. No Marek and no Leopold either. Maybe they've been swallowed up by the snow, never to be seen again. I'm getting a lot of King of the Hill clips lately, guys. Not Bob's Burgers, but King of the Hill. Adjacent enough. I'm watching a lot of King of the Hill through YouTube shorts lately, or just YouTube videos. I don't think I've ever watched a full episode of King of the Hill. Because when I was really little, I thought it looked boring, and when I got older, I was like, I respect the heck out of this show, but I just never ended up watching it. But I would like to watch it sometime. I've seen so many clips of it. I have probably digested multiple episodes by now, but maybe not. But unfortunately, I'm married to the idea of Dadcast first and foremost. Dadcast happens first. And that happens once I finish Futurama, which is going to be a while. Season 2 is really long. It's the longest one, apparently. I didn't realize that. The thing is, it's funny because the jokes are, and the humor is more subtle and not like a joke where they look at you and ask you to laugh. But my tiny brain couldn't parse that. It's not for kids anyway. You're not the target audience. But pretty funny looking show from what I know of it. There's a tick? Ugh. That's concerning. I would hate that. I had a weird looking moth in the house the other day. I didn't really feel... If I don't have to, like, attack a bug, I won't. Sometimes my humanity takes over a little. So I went and I got a little cup and a little piece of paper and did the classic, like, slide the paper under the cup, and I set it free outside. And as soon as it left, I was like, never seen that before. What would I have done if this was, like, an invasive species? Just like a shower thought, kind of like, huh, what if I just ruined the ecosystem? I don't know if I should be wrapping up for the day or not, but we might just wrap up early just cause. I don't know. Hold on. I'm gonna shoot a text to Mom and see. Hey Mom, what time do you think Chili's will be? Just curious. Tell me. What's up? Tell me all about it. Oh god, work is gonna suck this week. Guys, it's gonna be high 90s all week. I did see the Takis meal. I have no attachment to Takis, and probably will not be getting that because it doesn't sound good to me. But I did see it. To me, it sounds like, I mean, my closest frame of reference is like if they made like a Doritos meal or like a Cheetos meal or something, like a corn chip type snack like that. And those sound disgusting to me, so I don't see why I would go for a Takis meal if I don't even eat those. Doritos taco? That sounds good because you're getting a tortilla shell, which is adjacent to a chip. I don't think I would eat a Doritos burger or chicken sandwich. A staple food source, Biba. I have too many nicknames. I can't be Biba now. Mom's not texting back. Maybe she was leaving for Chili's? Maybe that's what I heard? Maybe that was her getting in the car to leave for Chili's? We have a little time? This is a weird stream today, guys. We spent the first half running around, accomplishing little. We spent the second half talking about the game we streamed on Friday and not this game. And now I'm thinking of leaving early for Chili's. Yeah, that's fair. You put, like, I don't know, spicy chips on like a wrap, hypothetically? That might not be good, I agree, yeah. We should go either way to Baccarat. Thank you, Firecracker Rat. Yeah, Baccarat. You used to think I was cool? What did I do wrong? Not get the Taiki Inomata meal? The Wendy's Taiki meal? Play with me! Put it together right now. I don't think I'm the authority on it. I think there's Polcari in it. There's a Polcari in there, right? Well, that's the drink, right? Okay, we're gonna play a little bit of roulette here. What the fuck? Oh, we pick. Da 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 ba 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 ba. Da 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 da. Kurokono, yeah. I love that. I can't wait till I finish Gintama and can rank all the arcs and take a little look back and engage with the series in a healthier way than taking an hour to watch an episode. Listen, I know it's stupid. But I'm too far in. Home at 5:45? Guys, we're not done yet. We can keep streaming if you want. We'll end at 5:30 like normal. We could just hang out in the casino for the rest of the day. And chat. How's life, guys? How are you? Gonna be a hot week at work. I was checking my email, because we get an email at the start of every week. And it tells us like who's gonna be in and out this week, and a lot of people are out this week. I'm not looking forward to it. Because as it stands, I am pretty much... It's gonna sound... Sometimes I feel like when I'm talking about work, I sound lazy or like I'm making myself look bad. But all I mean by this is, oh, so close. I am like 4th in command. And we don't know if our boss is in this week. It seems like she is. But number 2 is out. Number 1 might be out. And number 3 is out a couple days. So I might have to be in charge a couple days this week, which doesn't mean much of anything. It's just not like I'm doing managerial stuff. But I would be the guy to, like, talk to if anything went wrong. Which I don't really want. There is a mouse in my office. It is going to be 90-something degrees. All 3 of our experts on the clinical space that we work in are going to be out this week, which means they're going to have to spread the love with the tickets, and I'm probably going to end up with one. And I'm probably going to have to go over there, which I don't typically do anymore. I do a lot of, like, 3rd-tier work these days. So I'm kind of out of practice actually going into the clinical spaces and doing anything over there. And so I don't really want to, but I'll probably have to, which is fine. I don't mind doing that when people are out or if I'm, like, just helping things run. But it's just, like, another thing that'll be, like, weird this week. I'm finishing up on my big project that I've been working on, and I'm very proud of how these late stages of it have gone. It's pretty much out of my hands at this point. Other than the launch, and hopefully the launch goes smooth. But the testing phase has gone well. To provide some context, we've been implementing a new... It's not even a new tool. It's the same tool we use for our remote support. But it was due for not even just like an upgrade, but we wanted to get a cloud-based version because we just had like a local version before. And so I was put in charge of like implementing it. Which, if that doesn't sound like client support, you would be correct. It's really not in the scope of my job description. But it's just something I ended up working on that I've been fine with. I love working on projects much more than I like doing client support. Keep me away from the phone. Not interested in that life anymore. I've done it for like 5 or 6 years. I've done my fill. I don't like talking to people on the phone anymore. Come on, 22! But I've done all my stuff, meeting with the vendors, putting everybody in touch that needs to be in touch. We got it working. We have the whole team testing it now. It's not public, but it's like technically being used. And all that's left is to upgrade some app that's integrated with it so that it continues to work. And once that's ready, we can go live with it for real. And that'll be the true test of like, is it ready? Or did you screw everything up, Cebu? Everything that's left at this point is on other people. And then we'll do that sometime in mid-July. And yeah, there's a mouse at work. I cleared out the drawer completely. There's nothing left in that drawer except for, gonna get a little gross here, some mice droppings. That I didn't have cleaning supplies. Or I didn't have safe cleaning supplies, and I don't know if it's my job to clean that. I'm more than willing to. It's my space. I would like to clean it. I just don't know if, like, the pest control is going to do something. I don't know if they provide any sort of, like, sanitation. I don't want to be the one cleaning that if I don't have to. Just out of safety. I mean, they probably do, but I don't really know the protocol here. I know it sounds stupid. I could totally just clean it if I wanted to. But I don't really know what the proper course of action is, but I'm definitely going to clean it this Monday. In the moment, I didn't want to disturb the space in case they needed something, like proof, or if they wanted to inspect it. I didn't really know if I was supposed to tamper with the crime scene. But I did throw out everything that was in the drawer. So what I would assume is that it won't come back because it will see that the space is just an empty drawer now and there's nothing to hide under. So I don't think it's going to be back in that drawer. It probably found another hiding space. I don't know. Should be good by Friday. It's possible. No, but genuinely, like, not even like joking around at this point. I opened that drawer and I started to feel like sick. I was like, I need to not sit here. This might be like a health hazard. I'm gonna sit somewhere else for the week until this is cleared up. If I saw that, I would I don't think I would freak out if I saw the mouse. If I saw a family, I might freak out. But the real crazy part about this... Did I talk about this already? I forget. My boss was out this week. Due to some kind of emergency. That, you know, we're not privy to. That's, you know, not our business unless she chooses to share. We just know that she was out on some emergency. I don't know if it was a family emergency. I don't know if she got sick. Maybe it was like COVID. I don't know. Like usually when someone has COVID in the office, we don't say it. We just say emergency. I'll be out for 5 days, and that's like, you know, like that tells you enough. I'm not having great luck on this, huh? We're gonna get it though. And I was like, okay, good thing she wasn't here for this because she has a genuine phobia of, I think specifically like rats maybe, but I'm sure mice count too. And we work in a building with a lot of lab rats. There we go. Only 280? No profit. This is not worth it. Leaving Chili's now. Okay. I'll have to leave soon. Let's bingo up. She has like a genuine phobia, like one that like... She's not just like scared of mice, she like freaks out over the idea of them. I once had a rubber rat that I found in a bag of Halloween decorations that we had in the office, and someone was like, do not put that out, she will freak out. And I had it in my hand being like, oh, like really? Okay, like if you're serious, I won't. And she walked into the office while it was in my hand, and she had to like cover her eyes and like back out and be like, please put that away. I was like, oh man, okay, this is like serious. So I didn't want to like, you know, like trigger anything unpleasant. And so I was like, it's good that she's out this week and doesn't have to see this. But if pest control doesn't come by the end of the week, I have to tell her about this. Like, I'm telling her about it before she comes in case she wants to stay home or something. Because she can do that. She's the boss. She can just choose to work at home. So I sent her an email on Friday where I was like, this is what happened. This is what we're doing. I'm sorry. I hope all is well, because I didn't know the nature of the emergency, and I was like, I hope this, I'm sorry I had to tell you this on top of whatever else is going on. And I just hope she's not upset about it, I don't know. What was said here? What else? Is it fuck? Yes, of course. What if they brought in their own armchair and sofa, and Pop Mouse is smoking a pipe? Well, that would be wonderful. I would love that. Mouse in the washing machine. We've only had a mouse in the house once that I know of. Gotta tell my boss, yeah. Once that I know of, and we did eventually catch him. We cornered him. He was running around like the whole house. And we eventually found him hiding away in my brother's room in a laundry basket. We were like, he's definitely in there. Like, we know he's in here. Let's lock him in. And then we were able to safely remove him from the house. Which I was happy with, because I was like, oh, I don't want to hurt him. So he got out safely. Yeah, that's the only instance I'm aware of in our home. We have suspected a rodent before, just from like sounds. We've been like, is there something in the walls? But, oh, 1-2? Can I get a straight Balatro? No, it was not good for me, guys. It was not Oa. You're crazy. You're out of your mind. If you have anything bigger than your head running around your house and you don't know where it's hiding, you're crazy. It was not cute. Sorry. Maybe it was cute before it got in. What did I bet? Oh, 100. It left presents around the house. Very large presents. Yeah, they do. Not in here. Woo! Bingo! Huge bingo! Another chance, 11! What's that? 10? Ah. Still, that's a big win. Big victory today, boys. One time my friend's brother came to one of our college Smash tournaments. He was our special guest for the week. We would have special guests sometimes from the local community. And it was my friend's brother, who's quite the character. I love the guy. And he won that week, and I remember after he posted in the Facebook group. I don't know why this stuck with me. It was just funny. If you know him, it like sounds funny. He just posted. He made a post that was like, "Big victory this week, boys! Big victory," or something like that. It was like, big victory. I'm gonna squander all my money. We're gonna go down to 2,000, and then we're gonna call it for the day. That's crazy. Home in a recliner, that is... that's a fear. Also, the possum, like, broke, like, expensive stuff around the house. It, like, ran across a shelf. This is how we found out there was ever anything in the house. My brother heard loud noises upstairs, looked around the living room, and saw a bunch of stuff knocked down, and was like, wow, these didn't just fall on their own. I don't think anything was totally broken, but some like decorations got like chipped or something, and I don't know. It was a ruckus. I'm seeing color here. We can get 16 and 21. That'd be good. Here we go. 22, though. That's a number I love. 21, okay. 16 or 22? 12. A Santa hat and a Rudolph nose? Rudolph! That's awesome. Here we go! Also, if you can probably guess, guys, making that video was eating up some of my free time. So I'm happy to have that back. As is classic. Hey! Great bingo today. One more game. That was what we were gonna do. Maybe metaphor, maybe something else. Probably metaphor. Ooh, Bloodborne. I do want to play that. I'm probably gonna play Mega Man X soon. I think. I'm gonna ask my brother if he has that. I'm pretty sure he does. Want more short games in my life? I started Deltarune. Pixel. Have you played that yet? I started chapter 3, I should say. Stuck on 3 houses, that's fair. I regret to inform you guys that there's a zebra character. There's a zebra girl in Deltarune chapter 3. There was a character that I was like, oh, wow. And Pixel will pick her out right away. There were 2 characters that I was instantly like, I love these 2. They were designed by an artist that I follow, which is cool. I didn't recognize it at first, but I knew they had worked on something in the game. And the little deer girl? No, I don't think so. She's fine, but I wouldn't say that. More of like an oh-ho type of zebra girl. Once I saw the tweet from them being like, I made these characters, I was like, yes, that looks exactly like characters you would have made. I don't know why I didn't like pick up on this. But yeah, I started that. I ended up just starting fresh, but on chapter 3. I was gonna replay the game because I got it on Switch too, but I played the original chapter 1 and 2 on PC, so there was no way to like continue with my save data. So I was thinking of starting over and just doing the stuff I hadn't done, like the secret bosses and stuff, because I've never done any of those. But I was like, whatever, I just want to see the story of these games. I'm not married to the gameplay. I just like these games as experiences, which is more than I can say about a lot of games. I really like, it's one of the few games where I'm like, I just want to like experience this game. That's how I feel. That's my relation to like Undertale and Deltarune. And so I'm just vibing. I don't really care about like my carryover stats or whatever. I just want to have fun with it, you know? So I just started chapter 3, fresh save. Use the Hunter Cam, that would be funny. And other than that, I've been playing a little Balatro. I finished Mario Kart World. I'm feeling in a good spot with my productivity. I was saying earlier I might start Persona Q2 for myself and chip away at that one. Because I found it the other day and was like, there it is. I should probably play this at some point. And now would be a good time. But yeah, I feel in a good spot. I'm gonna play Mega Man because it's a short game, and I want to play more short games. I'm kind of like in the mood for short games now. I've hit that point. Guys, I'm gonna wrap up here though. We really, this is one of the weirdest streams I've ever done, where the game was truly just in the background the whole time. This was a podcast. That's okay though. Next week we'll definitely get some stuff done. And I appreciate you chilling and chatting and having a good time with me. Yeah, we got Maury. That was the main thing. I'll see you next week for whatever we're doing in the ice cave or whatever. And I'll see you Tuesday for Twilight Princess. And I'll see you Friday, guys, for Yakuza Kiwami. I'm excited for that. I gotta talk to Comb about that a little. And come up with a face cam and whatnot. But that's crazy, right? I'll see you there. Have a good week. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. It's going to be a rough one for a lot of people I've talked to. I don't know about everybody, but it is going to be a hot week in many places. So just take good care of yourself. All right? I'll see ya. Bye-bye. Oh, and I gotta start my 3 houses silver snow run. Whoops.